Let's get started.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah. So now that we have a really small group of people, it's someone else's. Hi, Roshan.
Good.
So we have Praveen, we have Shilpa, we have Charu and Roshan. We have four folks.
Yeah.
And we have Pratibha also.
Yeah. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining. Yeah, we are just about to start the discussion. In the meantime, people can continue to join.
Yeah, guys. So since we have a really smaller forum, we can actually take this opportunity to make it really interactive, and we don't need to have like really standard format. We can have like a very engaging and interactive session. So whatever it is that you guys want to know, and if I have obviously some knowledge about it, I'll definitely be more than happy to share. See, broadly for today, we thought of covering two topics. Both are in a way kind of interrelated. One is to give you guys a very high level overview of Web3 and crypto, right? What exactly is Web3 and how is cryptocurrencies, how are they born? What exactly is the utility of cryptocurrencies? Why are they so valuable? Like, things can't be just valuable for no reason, right? So there has to be a lot of things behind it, right? So that's like basically understanding the foundations of Web3 and cryptocurrencies. That is one topic. And the other topic is why it is so important to start investing at a very early age, right? So people who start investing at a very early age are the ones who will eventually make, generate a lot of wealth, because wealth generation is a very time taking process. So things don't happen overnight. If someone is promising you wealth, overnight or in a span of few months or years, then it's too good to be true, and most likely it will be false. So yeah, these are like the broad two segments that we have in mind. I actually have two separate presentations for each of them. One presentation solely on Web3 and crypto, the one you're looking at right now. And I also have another one which is a bit more focused on investment and investment in cryptocurrencies in particular. So do you guys have any preference? Like what should we start with? We'll take some time to go over Web3 and then come to investment, or you want to directly jump into, I want to know what is this cryptocurrencies, like how do we take an investment decision? Any preferences there?
I think, sir, first we should go with Wave 3, then we will see for crypto and investment and all.
Yes, sir, it will be
Definitely.
helpful then.
Sure, sure. So let's just start the discussion with understanding what exactly is Web3, right? And for that we also need to understand what is Web 1 and Web 2, right? How did the transition happen from Web 1 and then Web 2? And right now, we already can see that the Web 3 revolution has started in a very big way, and how it is going to really change things for us in the years to come, right? So let's get started. A quick introduction. I think many of you guys already know because we visited you guys once in college, right? So we are a team of crypto experts, and we aim to build India's best crypto investment platform, right? You will very likely, and obviously we hope it with our best of intentions, in a few years down the line, we want to be the flag bearer of the crypto ecosystem in India. Like, just how Flipkart became the flag bearer for e-commerce in India. So at weTrade, we want to become the flag bearer for blockchain and crypto revolution in India, right? Obviously these are very time-taking processes, and that is why we have a vested interest in ensuring that everybody in India understands crypto and blockchain very well, Web3 and blockchain very well. This process is actually called as evangelism, right? We're in the process of evangelizing. We want to evangelize crypto, so this is going to benefit the entire industry, not just us as a company, right? So we're in the business of evangelism. We are not in the business of selling, right? We don't want to sell anything. We just want to ensure that the knowledge of crypto and blockchain is available for everyone to consume, right? So moving on. let's first try and understand how the evolution of the World Wide Web happened, right? So essentially, all that was started. By the way, any guesses on when the World Wide Web started in the 70s or 80s?
No, sir.
No guesses. It actually started sometime in late 70s to early 80s. So the first concept of World Wide Web originated in Europe in an institute called as CERN, CERN. It's a very prominent institute even as of today, right? All the very big experiments. If you understand Big Bang theory, right? So this is the very huge lab which tried to, I would say, create the conditions when the universe did not exist, that Big Bang moment, right? So they actually tried to do that. So it's a physicist institute. It's very famous. So one of the scientists actually accidentally stumbled upon World Wide Web, and obviously it became like a phenomenon in the 90s, right? But even then, the most prominent, one of the most prominent websites in the 90s, Google also was not so famous back then. Some of the really prominent websites in the 90s were news websites like Yahoo, MSN, right? Craigslist was always there. Craigslist is our, like, our, what do you call? Similar to Just Dial, right? It's like pages, yellow pages, and all of these things. So the fundamental concept of Web 1 was it was only a one-way consumption. It's like reading a newspaper. Somebody is publishing content on the internet, and as a user, you're consuming that content. You can't talk to the internet, essentially. You can only consume. It was just one way. From the internet to the user, there is simply flow of information. So that is what has characterized Web 1. It is mostly just static websites which had a lot of content, different content formats, text, image, video. Video is also not so prominent because our network bandwidths were not so great in the 90s. So that is what Web 1 is. It's primarily information economy. And that is why Web 1 kind of disrupted the book publishing industry, like in the printing industry, because a lot of the content, you don't need to go to libraries, you don't need to go to, and go and buy a lot of books. It's available on the internet. And then comes Web 2. Why did Web 2 even, you know, why did Web 2 come to existence? Like, was there a need for Web 2? Yes, there was always a need for Web 2. Like, even if Facebook existed in the 1960s, it would still have become famous. But why did it not exist in the 1960s? Because we did not have the infrastructure. We did not have the network. It's like saying that, Tesla cars were not there in 1900s. We did not even have proper roads then, right? So the infrastructure was non-existent, and that is why for Web 2 to function, you need a lot more things. You need two-way communication. Like, you can talk to the internet also will talk to you. You can consume content, you can also upload content. So that is what has characterized Web 2. The most classic, and Web 2 has created massive wealth for everyone. It is not just wealth, it also has created value. So when you say value, a lot of problem statements which are almost impossible to solve before Web 2 became possible only because of Web 2. Can you think of something like an Uber, Ola, like, I don't know, like 20, 30 years ago? Just not possible. Like Facebook and YouTube, forget about it. Like, the kind of infrastructure which was required for Web 2 to function only happened in the 2000s. Because the infrastructure readiness was there. By the way, guess what? Social networking platforms also came into existence in the 90s, but none of them took off. Like the founder of LinkedIn, he first actually wanted to start at something like a Facebook in the 1996 or something, but he failed miserably because the market was not ready, the infrastructure was not ready. So it's also a matter of timing. And then Zuckerberg tried the same thing in 2003. He got really lucky because 2003 was the time when Web 2 was booming. He was there at the right time at the right place, and hence the explosive growth of Facebook. Right, so that's what Web 2 is. And Web 2 has created platforms. It has created content platforms, commerce platforms, marketplace platforms, like, and massive companies, like all the massive companies that we hear about today, like Amazon, Netflix, Facebook, Google, Apple, all of them were possible because of Web 2, right? And now, like, is it a good thing that what Web 2 has enabled is nothing short of fantastic? Like, you guys, like, you guys don't understand, but we come from an era of SMSs, by the way. We come from an era of Windows 95 operating systems where internet was really slow. And my elder brother and all, they were not even aware of internet, like, when during their childhood. So for us guys, we saw the revolution right in front of our eyes. Like in the 1990s, how much world has changed. In the 2000s, how much world has changed. And enter 2012, 13, the entry of smartphones, and that's it. There is no stopping of Web 2. Web 2, it's like, smartphones were like the biggest catalyst for Web 2, and it simply exploded. Right now, what this has created is this has created massive platforms like Facebook, Amazon, Google, all these companies who, in a way, I would say have become way too powerful. Like, as a consumer, you may not understand, but these are most of these companies are actually marketplaces. If you go talk to an Amazon seller, right, he'll have 100 complaints on Amazon saying that, they copy my products, they don't pay me properly, or they do whatever they want and I have no say, because Amazon is so powerful. Talk to an advertiser and you will know the real pain points of advertisers on Facebook and Google. Facebook and Google are too big. They don't need to listen to anyone. Like, you are at a loss if you are not on Facebook and Google. It's like that. So Web2 has created massive wealth, and it also has concentrated power. Everything became centralized. Just these few platforms, they started controlling way too much, like really, really too much. And what exactly are they doing? Essentially, like, if you think of like Google, it is nothing but Google is nothing but an online guide, right? It's like you go to a place, you don't know how to go, you ask the guide, hey dude, where do I need to go? Then he'll show you the directions and he'll take some money for it. That's what Google does. All it is, Google is nothing but the gatekeeper of internet. And all these companies have become gatekeepers of internet. It's not their internet, right? Internet is not, it does not belong to these companies. But because they're in a position to be able to do gatekeeping, they're eating all the wealth. Like, currently all the news websites, their revenues are down like crazy because Google and Facebook are eating all the wealth. Like, the ads get clicked on Google and Facebook. Even if you land on a news website, the news website doesn't earn anything. It's them who created the content. But still, because someone else is up there who is like the broker guy who controls everything, all the power is centralized. All the decisions are taken at the top. You may not realize, but once you enter the business world, you will realize the extent of centralization of power, right? Now, what exactly is Web3? Like, why is Web3 important? I have this very classic example which I often quote, right? Think of Web2 like the current internet and whatever the networks that are available to us. They're essentially similar to, let's say, the highways and the railways that we got as of now, right? Now, who builds these highways and railways? It's typically government along with some contractors, right? And how do they monetize? Through by charging you toll fees, right? So now this is exactly what Google and Facebook has done. Because they're maintaining the roads and rails of the internet, they are basically putting up toll booths everywhere and collecting money wherever they want. You are at the mercy of these companies. Like, obviously, if there is a toll gate, you have to pay them money because they are maintaining the roads. They in a way control the roads. Enter Web3. Web3, the concept of Web3 is fairly simple. Like, everybody gets a piece of ownership of the entire infrastructure that exists. See, essentially, what Google and Facebook do is, how many of your computer science graduates here, or at least understand computer science?
Me, sir. I did my graduation as Bachelor of Computer Application.
Okay, got it. Right. See, the most like if you understand even AWS, Azure, all these guys, they're primarily selling three things, right? First is they sell you storage, and second they also sell you compute, and third they also sell you applications. Broadly, software can be categorized into one of these three: storage, compute, applications. Like storage, you understand very well. Compute is the power which is required to run any application or to run any algorithm, logic, doesn't matter, right? So storage, compute, and applications is the software, the layer on top of these two, which enables you to run anything. It could be mobile application, web-based application, cloud-based, doesn't matter. Now, in the Web3 economy, if you look at it, every single customer also has storage. All of us actually have storage, right? We have storage on our smartphones, we have storage on our laptops, we have other devices also which can possibly have storage. All of us also have access to compute. every single device that we hold has a CPU, right? So smartphone has a lot of compute, laptop has a lot of compute, even the smart TVs have a lot of storage and compute these days. Like everything is smart. I don't know. I think we'll get smart bathrooms also in no time, but doesn't matter. Everything is smart these days, right? So the concept of Web3 is fairly simple. All of us own a lot of storage and compute. Why don't we simply lease it? You can literally rent out your storage and compute and you can make money out of it. You can build a network. It's a shared net. It's like Airbnb, right? What is Airbnb? You don't need hotels. You can simply rent out a room in your house and say that this is like a mini hotel. You can come and stay and you can pay me. That's what Web3 is very similar to Airbnb. It's basically saying that, say, all of us have storage and compute, and it's very easy to connect the storage and compute because all of us also have access to internet. So we can simply form a network. This is like a data center we can create. We don't need to go to Google's and Facebook's to create data centers, right? When you actually have a shared network, that is when you can build infrastructure on top. That is Web3 infrastructure. Who owns the Web3 infrastructure? All the participants. There is no single company which owns it. It will be all the participants who own the Web3 infrastructure. And on this infrastructure, applications can be built out. Unknowingly, you may already be using a lot of Web3 infrastructures already. Any one of you, do you guys use the Brave browser?
Yes, sir. That's ad-free browser.
Yes, Brave is built on Web3. It's not a Web2 product.
Okay, but I was not
It's not.
aware. I'm just
Yeah,
blindly using that product.
Brave is a Web3 product, by the way. It already functions pretty good, right? It's like nobody owns that browser. It runs on everyone's compute and storage. And why did Web3 not exist 10 years ago? Because again, same reason. The infrastructure did not exist. People did not have access to this much storage and compute to be able to build, a network of these computers, right? So now that's a very brief introduction of Web3 for you.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you got disconnected.
No, I'm here. The screen is probably visible, right, David? Any issues with it, or?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah. Now, right, see, if you think about it, we are at really early stages of Web3. Like, most people don't understand Web3, and even people who understand, half of them don't understand it properly. They still think that Web3 may not take off. It's like, I don't know, it could be a fad or something. But if you look at it, Web2 also did not take off in a year. It took more than 1 decade for Web2 to scale up. So, worst case scenario, 10 years down the line, or even not even 10 years yet, like few years down the line, when Web3 really scales up, there will be very, very few people in the industry who have good knowledge of Web3, and they will be a tremendous advantage. So that's one of the reasons why, at least I personally have joined the Web3 revolution, because few years down the line, when Web3 is really big, I want to be one of those Web3 experts, right? So that's just an unmatched advantage that you can possibly have. But for Web3 to become really big, there are a lot of layers which need to be built for it to be usable. Like, that's the fundamental problem of Web2, right? So in its current form, a lot of people don't understand it, and people who understand it also are not in a position to use it properly, because it's still, maybe very hardcore techies can understand it well, very hardcore business people also, some of them who have really good understanding of finance can understand well. But the real practical applications of Web3, people are still not able to understand. But for that to happen, a lot more work is required. Like, there are a lot more companies like weTrade, which needs to be born and which need to build the necessary infrastructure on top of the current Web3 network for it to go to the next level. By the way, these many companies are already present in each of these layers. So we've got protocol layer. Protocol layer is essentially the entire how the Web3 protocols essentially function, right? How the Bitcoin network functions, the Ethereum network, the Solana network. Each of these networks have an underlying protocol because it's a shared computers, right? So you need to have really stringent protocols. It's not like there is one company called as Google who is maintaining the network for you. The protocol is basically the responsible for maintaining the network, so that all the data transfer happens in a safe and secure way, right? And then we have multiple other layers on top of the protocol layer. Like we've got infrastructure layer, like use case layer, and access layers. So many companies are already playing, in these layers and trying to do some really cool things. If you don't know, I also recommend you to read about some of our Indian companies who are doing really cool stuff in the Web3 ecosystem. Like, for example, weTrade is one of them. We're doing some pretty cool stuff. And Polygon is another Indian company which is making waves in the Web3 world. So already Polygon is global. And most of Web3 companies are actually, even Web2 companies for that matter, are approaching Polygon for the solutions. So Polygon has built a really brilliant scaling solution on top of Ethereum blockchain, right? So that is why their coin also has gone up. Just as a side thing, Polygon coin, right? It has doubled in the past 2 months. By the way, so I had put some money before 2 months, and right now it's double. So that's the prospects of this company. The Polygon coin is called as Matic, MATIC. So you check it out whenever you get a chance. Now, let's. I think you guys already know about our company right here. So we will just maybe start with really basics of why cryptocurrencies were born in the first place. Like, by the way, a lot of people misunderstand it. So someone wants to. One of the very well known misunderstandings about the crypto world is that people think that there are only cryptocurrencies. There is only like this bitcoins and many more coins, and some people think that they're equal to currencies, but they're not equal to money. So that is why this will not take off, right? So essentially, that's a very common misunderstanding that people have, right? See, currency is just one problem that blockchain was trying to solve. If you look at the thousands of blockchain projects that are available right now, the hundreds of coins that are available in the market right now, each of these coins is actually trying to solve a different problem. There are very few coins which are trying to solve the currency problem, which is essentially the transfer of goods and services. A lot of coins, some of the coins are trying to solve property ownership as a problem, right? How do we ensure that property ownership is recorded in blockchain properly, right? And there is one called as Filecoin. Filecoin actually solves file transfer of files on the blockchain in a very safe and secure way. And they have a native coin also. For every blockchain to function, they distribute these coins. So that is why every blockchain project also has a coin. There is another coin called as BAT. BAT is basically basic attention token. So that is trying to solve the world of advertising. Like, whoever wants their attention, they need to pay in these tokens. Like, think about the YouTubes and Facebooks of Web3. So they'll be using these basic attention tokens. So there are many tokens in many blockchain projects which are solving different problems. People only know Bitcoin and Ethereum, and they think that Bitcoin is not money, so this will not take off, right? Hey, you can ask that question directly also. You just have a small forum. What's your question, Praveen?
Sir, as we know, in Wave 3, data will be decentralized, right?
Correct.
So, as of now, in Wave 2, when Google, Facebook, YouTube are storing our data, and
Correct.
they are using that data for personalizing content for us, right?
Yes.
So, in Wave 3, when data will be not in the control of their company, so how it will be personalization of content will be how it will work?
See, personalization requires that your services are trained on the data that you got. See, like for example, I actually know how personalization happens in the world of machine learning, right? So user data, let's say for example, the entire Google's data sits in like some 100 data centers. They actually pull the data from these data centers and they build models and they train the data, and again they deploy these machine learning models in these data centers.
Okay.
Right? Similar to how they are trying to get data from all these data centers and again sending it back to the models which try and predict the personalized thingies, right? Here you have a network of computers. The construct is again the same. You have the data. And the fact that centralization does not imply that data is in one place. It only implies that data is in control of one party.
Mm-hmm.
It need not necessarily be in one place. Currently also data is not in one place. Whenever Google makes a change, they deploy these changes in every single data center they have, which is globally.
Right, sir.
Yeah, so you can, at the end of the day, the protocol decides. Like, for example, there will be Web3 applications. Like, for example, if you don't want any personalization, if you want complete privacy, I want zero personalization. And I'm sure few years down the line, there will be Web3 applications which will offer that.
Okay.
So for some people who think that, I know I want personalization, I want the recommendations to be personalized to me so that I spend less time in taking my decision, there will be applications which will still offer personalization. But in the Web2 world, if you go and ask Google, hey, don't personalize my data, don't take my data, they'll say, okay, but they'll still collect.
Yeah.
You have no control, you have no say.
Right, sir.
Yeah. The problem is not just centralization of data, it's centralization of power. That is the biggest problem, which will be solved by Web3. But will it be completely solved by Web3? I frankly doubt it. Because all these companies, right? So all the Googles and Facebooks of the world, they may eventually capture a bulk of Web3 market also, because they have a lot of money. See, right now, let's say in the Web2, the top 10 companies are there. Among them, 5 may be replaced by some new companies. But the other 5, they will still control. They will control the Web3 revolution also. Because they have the money, they'll just wait and watch. They'll wait and watch. Oh yeah, I think this is the right. By the way, Google is already secretly building a lot of Web3 applications. They have carved out a separate team of 1,000 people which is working on Web3 cloud, but they are not announcing it outside. Facebook also is building a lot of metaverse related applications. All these guys, they don't want to miss the Web3 revolution. They know that Web3 revolution is here, but nobody can tell when it will happen. When will the next Web3 Google be born? It could be 3 years down the line, it could be 5 years down the line, it could be 7, 8 years down the line. Timing you cannot predict, but you can only say that in the next 1 or 2 decades, Web3 is going to take off like anything.
Got it, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the beauty of Web3, which is like decentralization of data and control, right? And because it is decentralized, it creates another levels of transparency here. So you at this age you may not understand, right? So when you start paying tons and tons of taxes, like when I was recently filing my ITR, the income tax returns, I felt sad. Like I'm a proud taxpayer of India. Like I pay my taxes very diligently. I never evade taxes, and I pay my taxes happily. But when you look at the quantum of taxes that you pay, you will still be disappointed. And then the road outside my house is really bad. Because of the rains, it's gone worse. I don't know where the money is going. How are my taxes being spent? In a country like India, taxpayers don't have a lot of power, unfortunately. In the European, Australian, and US countries, taxpayers have a power. They directly ask questions to government. Hey, where is my tax going? How are you spending my tax? So in India, you can't even question as a taxpayer, who is paying tons of taxes. So transparency is missing at multiple levels. Nobody knows how government spend is happening. Nobody knows how the funds are being transferred to charitable trust. There are a lot of things which are extremely not transparent. The moment these transactions or start getting recorded on a blockchain, it will be completely transparent to everyone. It still be anonymized, but you can clearly see where exactly is the data flowing, where is the leakage happening. 10% funds got siphoned off somewhere. You can clearly see that. In the existing scheme of things, nobody knows. Only the chartered accountants who are doing the accounts of topmost politicians, they will know. Right? And obviously nothing is immutable in the existing scheme of things. Immutability is going back and changing the database. By the way, how much that happens? It happens quite rampantly. Every government does that. Every government prints currencies whenever they like, how much ever they like. They simply announce something else, and US government has been printing dollars at an unprecedented rate in the past 3-4 years, because of which the inflation is so high, because of which we are suffering. The entire world is suffering because the Federal Bank of USA has recklessly printed dollars in the past 3 years. And they have access to the data. You have to believe whatever they say. So data can be fudged by anyone. All governments have access to data and they can change the data whenever they want. Even our government is really good at changing numbers and reporting numbers, whatever they like, whenever they like. So fundamentally, right? So this is what characterizes a blockchain. A blockchain solves three problems. One is centralization, it solves by ensuring that data does not reside at a single place and it is not in the control of a single party. And it also provides unprecedented levels of transparency to everyone on the network. And it is immutable. You cannot change the data once it is there. You have to add a new row there. You cannot strike off an existing row. You can, you know, there are some very interesting databases. Like if you know, there are some database, like, there is one Google database called as BigQuery. It's a very funny database. It's like a normal SQL like tabular database, but it does not allow you to edit or delete any rows. It is append only. Whenever you want to, edit a data, you need to append a new row and say that the last row is not valid. But the last row still exists. So there is a proper audit trail. If you want to see all the updates, all the changes, everything is clearly there. So immutability is another beautiful concept of a blockchain. Any questions so far?
No, sir, actually.
Yeah. So see, when Bitcoin was born, right, eventually, you guys also should try and understand the number of layers which exist in our current payments ecosystem. It is quite crazy, by the way. And you should try and do a transaction which is outside of India. Try and, let's say, buy some foreign stock or a foreign commodity and then try and sell it, and try and also do the currency conversion. You will then understand that there are 10 layers involved. There are like 3 different kinds of banks involved. There are 2-3 different kinds of settlement agencies involved, and the 2-3 places where transaction fees are collected, 2-3 more places where taxes are levied. And in a country like India, taking your money out and getting it back is another pain, like crazy, right? So this is why Bitcoin was born in the first place. Bitcoin was born to ensure that transactions happen with extreme ease. There is absolutely no concept of transaction fee involved, and there is no double charging also. By the way, double charging is a very prominent thing. You may not know it, but people in international finance, if you go and ask them, they will say that double counting and double spending is actually quite common, even in today's world. Transactions get recorded twice. You end up paying tax twice and a lot of things. You just don't know. The same thing is retaxed. And there are like some 10 more taxes called as retro tax and whatnot, right? So, and then, but Bitcoin had this one particular bottleneck, which is that the number of transactions which can go through the network, and how do you mine new Bitcoins, which is very power heavy. So for you to mine Bitcoins, you need to spend a lot of compute. You literally need to have like a house full of computers only. Maybe then you can mine some Bitcoins in a few months. Like, it's that tough. It's not very efficient. So then the next coin which was born, which is Ethereum, right? And Ethereum is truly revolutionary. Like, it's really, really revolutionary. So before Ethereum, people were still skeptical. Okay, what is this Bitcoin, crypto? Yeah, the technology sounds cool. Yeah, blockchain sounds cool. Yeah, it's all very good, very sound technology, but does it have any practical applications and all that? So then Ethereum comes. Okay, the quick question. Who's the founder of Ethereum? Any guesses? Don't Google it.
No, sir, actually.
Okay.
No, sir.
Okay. And what was the age of Ethereum founder when he founded Ethereum?
I think
Take a guess.
23 or 26 something.
No, he was less than 20, dude. He was like 18, 19.
28 years, I think.
Yeah. He was like a very young. He still looks like a kid. Like exceptionally smart guy. So yeah. So this guy. And there is a very funny backstory. I'll just talk about that also, right? So he was playing a video game, I think on PlayStation or something, and he used to love this particular game, which had like a lot of fighting characters and whatnot. And suddenly he had been playing that game for a few years, and he accumulated a lot of points, a lot of powers and all that, right, for that character. And suddenly one day, all the characteristics of that particular character has been taken off. They made it like all the powers are gone, and all the extra cool features that he had for his fighting character were gone. Why? Because Sony decided to do that. Then this guy got really angry. He's like, oh my god, like, I've been loving this game so much, and suddenly all the effort I've put is like just simply gone because one company is controlling the entire gaming network. So then he's like, we should have something decentralized. Because he got pissed off with a video game, he actually invented Ethereum. And Ethereum is truly a revolution. Like, maybe the biggest innovation in the past 1 decade, like everything put together. Like, Ethereum is simply just without getting into too much technicals, right? Ethereum is like maybe if Bitcoin is the fire, like in terms of evolution, right? If you look at human evolution, the biggest threshold moment for us was the invention of fire. I hope all of you agree. And after fire, what do you think is the next biggest invention, which really propelled us to the next level? Any guesses?
Like
It's the wheel.
founding of like agriculture, sir.
No, agriculture was founded much before. In some form, agriculture existed. But proper agricultural societies existed, like the population explosion happened. So the founding of wheel transport, right? So it really scaled up our logistics and it really propelled us to the next level. So Ethereum is like the wheel, literally look like the wheel. So it really increased the efficiency of the blockchain ecosystem, and there are so many solutions which are built on top of Ethereum. Polygon also is an Ethereum layer 2 solution. A lot of applications are currently being built on top of Ethereum. Everything. Ethereum is like the backbone of crypto right now, by the way, all non-currency related. So Ethereum, by the way, I'm just taking a random bet here. So there are some really big announcements happening in Ethereum in the next 1 month. Ethereum is moving from its proof of work to proof of stake. So it's a very massive change in their protocol. In the next, Ethereum has already grown like crazy in the last 2 months, but in the next 1 or 2 months, something crazy may happen with the price of Ethereum. I don't know. It can go up very well or it can go down also. I don't know, but I'm putting my money. I'm betting that it'll go up. So yeah, a lot of applications which can be built on top of Ethereum, they're actually called as dApps, decentralized applications. And there are exchanges which are built on top of Ethereum network. They're actually called as DEXs, like decentralized exchanges. Right? So Ethereum is like, I would say maybe that is why it is second most popular, and rightly so. It is truly revolutionary. The technology itself is like very groundbreaking. Now let's talk about, I'll actually, I wanted to quickly also just give you a brief overview of, let me just do this. One quick trivia I'll show. It's just interesting, that's it. Okay, so just wanted to give you a quick overview of how crypto has grown in the past 5 to 6 years. This is good enough for you to speculate what can possibly happen in the next few years, right? So, okay, what's the interest that you get on fixed deposit as of today? Anyone knows?
3 to 4 5%, sir, annually.
वो तो यार बहुत कम है वो सेविंग्स अकाउंट में भी मिलता है 3-4%. FD पे you get anywhere between like 5 to 6%, right? And if you take any other government bond also, that's also a fixed income instrument. So all fixed income instruments don't give you more than 5-6%. And then gold is a very solid investment. Typically, at least in the past 10-20 years, it has given double-digit returns every year. Right? Mutual funds also. Mutual funds in the past few years have done better. They have been giving like 15% returns year on year. So mutual funds may, if you think about it, maybe you can double your money in 5-6 years, essentially. Like if you put 1 rupee in a mutual fund right now, you can think of doubling it in 5-6 years. In FD, it will take like 10 years easily. Yeah. And then you've got your EPFs and PPFs. They also pay you reasonably well. But, and again, individual stocks also like anywhere. But individual stocks is a very tricky game. Guess how much has crypto grown in the past 5 years?
In three digits, for sure. No, I'm wrong.
This is basically last 5 years average returns we have taken. So Bitcoin every year it has given 51%. You know what that means? So in 5 years, it would have easily become whatever, many times, many x. I can't do the calculation instantly, but I think Bitcoin in the last 6 to 7 years it has become 8x. That I know. It is becoming 8 times. Ethereum also is like 5x, 6x. So there are massive returns, like massive. Getting a 10% returns itself is like a very very big deal. Getting like a 30%, 40% is like Warren Buffett level, literally. So that's the yeah. This is like just another example of how these coins can possibly grow in like 10 years. If you put like 10,000 rupees in a fixed deposit now, after 10 years, you're gonna get not even double. Okay, it's really bad. Yeah. If you look at gold, right? If you put 10,000 rupees today, after 10 years, anywhere around 25,000, it's what you can expect. And if it does really well, then maybe it can become 30,000. It's like become 3 times in 10 years types, right? And if you put money in Reliance stock, this is not a prediction, by the way. We are not proponents of Reliance by any way. We just looked at last 10 years ka Reliance ka growth, and we assumed that next 10 years also it will grow like that. That's when we arrived at this figure. Like, that Reliance will become 10x. Put 10,000 rupees today and you'll get like 1 lakh after 10 years. That's still very, very good, by the way. Very few stocks become 10x in 10 years. It's very big, right? And if Bitcoin actually grows at the same rate at it has grown in the past few years, then the returns are simply off the roof. Like you put 10,000, it has actually become, it can possibly become in the best case scenario, obviously, right? 75x. You put 1 rupee today, in 10 years, it may become 75 rupees. It's just crazy. So that's the potential that crypto, we are not predicting that this is what's going to happen. We are simply saying that basis the trends of past few years, if the same trends hold for the next 10 years, this is what can possibly happen, right?
Sir, I would like to interrupt you here, but we
Sure.
have more risk on crypto also, no? Like we have more return rate of return, but here risk is more involved, no?
That is correct.
Right, sir.
See, that's what, right? See, in the world of crypto, people are only aware of a few investment options. See, in the world of stocks also, what exactly is a stock investment? Like, if you try and simply go put in one single stock, do you think there is no risk? There is a lot of risk.
Right.
If you just try and go find like some 3 to 4 of your favorite companies and simply put money in those stocks, there is a lot of risk. And that is why mutual funds came into existence. Mutual funds, they gave you the diversification. Each mutual fund will put their money in like some 30, 40 different stocks, and some may go down, some may go up, right? So that is when you actually, on an average, you'll make like this 10% returns. Crypto coins are also like that. You yourself may not be in a position to say which coin will go up and when it will go up. That is why it is better to, if you're a crypto expert, well and good. Or if you can research blockchain projects and actually predict the utility of each of these projects, well and good. Or else it is always better to go with a fund management company. weTrade, we are an investment management company, right? So that's what we, in a way, like we are launching our first investment product next week, which is basically you put, you just saw, right? FD gives 5-6%, gold gives 10%, 12%. We're actually going to give anywhere between 12% to 14% returns on crypto. It's fixed. Like there is no volatility involved, there is no risk involved because we'll manage the risk. We are actually going to put money only in US dollars. There is a coin called as USDT, and then that will make money. And we are actually in a position to promise 12 to 14% per annum return rates. It's more like a fixed deposit sort of a thing. There are a lot of monies to be made in the crypto ecosystem. It is just that it is way too complex for a layman to understand. A lot of people simply go and buy some random coin because some friend has told them, and then that will go down, then they'll lose money. So that's not how you go about it. if you think about it, many years ago, stock markets had the exact same perception. When I wanted to invest in stock markets in my early 20s, I got the exact same resistance from my parents. No. We know a lot of people who lost so much money in their stocks. They simply go haywire, they go up and down. You don't know how they will behave. Put your money in fixed deposits. Why are you putting money in stock markets? Same kind of skepticism existed for stock markets in India 10 years ago. And right now, everybody is putting money in stocks. 5% of our population are regular investors in stock markets. That's a very big number, by the way. We were at 0.5%, literally, at one point in time. Right now, 5% of our population very regularly invests in stock markets because people understood it well. And then there are a lot of these companies, such as, like, say, basket based companies, mutual fund based companies. A lot of these companies have really made it easy for people to invest. Same thing will happen in crypto. Currently, the levels of understanding are not so good. That is why people are not able to differentiate between risk and return. It's a process of evolution. Few years down the line, bulk of our population will be putting their money in crypto, if the regulations are friendly, of course.
Yeah, I just want to add a couple of lines there, because I remember when we came to your college, I think our principal was also making a statement that crypto is designed in such a way that company will always gain money and people will always lose money. So that's how people are thinking crypto from outside. But the value of these cryptos, similar to stocks, are generated by what is the use of this network. For example, why Bitcoin and Ethereum are so valuable? Because they are solving very complex problem which is utilized by many people. Versus, let's say, there can be some coins which is not solving any problem, but which is simply popular, let's say, because some celebrity people says that this is very good. So if people go by those loose statement and have faith on those coins and buy it, of course they will be losing money. But if people do a proper research as to what is this company doing, what are their roadmap, what is the problem they are solving, how many people are utilizing the problem which is solved by this company, what is it going to be like in the future. If we do all this calculative research, then the chance of risk and volatility, the chance of like losing money is very, very negligible. But the only thing is, like, we need to know those fundamentals. What are the things we should check? How do we need to do the research? Those things we should be knowing. And the other thing is why people are thinking that crypto and of course stocks also. Why are they thinking that if you put money you will lose it? Because they are looking at a very short period of time. If you put money now, even in stock, in the next one day it will go down. So if people are expecting to become rich or high returns in a month, in a year, those people will always say that crypto, or even stock for that matter, they will always say that if you put money you will lose it. But people who are investing for long term, like 5 years, 10 years, they will always make a very good returns in any investment, I'm saying. So this is I just want to add those couple of lines.
Great points, David. Yeah, thanks, Fred. So this is like another very good problem that blockchain was trying to solve, which is the ownership, right? So as a asset ownership. So, and digital art was one of the first asset classes which got itself onboarded onto the blockchain in the form of NFTs. They're actually called non-fungible tokens. NFT, by the way, the photo towards right, can you recognize what is that? Any guesses there?
Mr. Bean, a comedian, sir. Comedian character.
He's a comedian and he actually released his own NFT, which got sold for like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Salman Khan has released many NFTs in India, which have sold for like, lakhs and lakhs of rupees. So a lot of Bollywood celebrities are also joining the NFT revolution. So in abroad, in US and Europe, NFT is already widely popular. Even in India, the popularity is increasing day by day. right? There was a huge conference in Bangalore, which was only for NFT artists, by the way. Like, all NFT artists and everyone was some like 10,000 people showed up. Supposedly, I was surprised that these many people are actually in the NFT community in India also, that too in Bangalore, right? So there are different forms of art which can be put on the blockchain. It could be simply a painting, or it can be music, video clips, memes. There are meme NFTs, by the way, the meme NFTs which have gone really viral. And there are metaverse assets, right? There is this company called as Sand, okay, and they have created this virtual world, and the real estate in this virtual world is also called land, and they're selling land tokens. I'm not saying that it'll take off, but some metaverse will take off. Like, Facebook is investing heavily in metaverse, by the way, very heavily. So they want to be at the forefront of the Web3 revolution. Among the big tech, no other company is investing in Web3 as much as Facebook is. So, quick trivia, by the way. So, you get a free NFT on weTrade if you did not know that. If you simply sign up, you actually get a free NFT on weTrade. You can take it out of the weTrade application also. For that, you need to use an application called as MetaMask, and then you can list the NFT onto NFT marketplaces. You can sell it if you choose to for whatever price that you want to quote. Yeah, so stable coins is a concept which I would say originated a few years ago. Similar to how Ethereum is a key milestone, right, in the evolution of crypto, stable coins maybe can be considered as the next biggest milestone in the evolution of crypto. Without the invention of stable coins, the crypto markets would not have matured to the level that they currently are today. So what exactly is a stable coin? Stable coin is a crypto coin, but it is attached to a stable currency. The two which is non-crypto. When I say attached, there is a term called as pegging, right? So there is this one stable coin called as USDT, the one you see on the left, right? Tether USDT. So that is a stable coin, and one USDT is always equal to one US dollar. That is how it is designed. So what they do is, these guys, they mint. By the way, there are close to $100 billion worth of USDT is in circulation as of today. And they also hold $100 billion worth of US dollars in their bank accounts to ensure that one USDT is always equal to one USD. So that's the concept of a stable coin. There is another company called as Coinbase, if you have heard of it. Coinbase is, I think, the biggest crypto company in the US. It's not worldwide. Worldwide, I think Binance is bigger. So Coinbase has its own stable coin called USDC, the one which you see on the right. So the beauty of stable coins is that you can stay in the world of crypto. Let's say, for example, you today you think that some coin, hypothetically, let's say some Solana coin is going to go up in the next few days because of some very big announcement which has come today. So you buy Solana, and in the next few days it has actually gone up, right? Now you want to sell Solana and again convert it into rupees. Now that's a friction, right? So again, this crypto to fiat, like whenever you're selling crypto and convert it into rupees or dollars, there are a lot of friction involved. Like you could be levied taxes, or you have to make an entry again if you want to buy crypto. Instead of that, what you can do is, when Solana has gone up and you want to sell it, you can sell it into USDT. You can simply hold the USDT crypto coins, and again when it goes down, you can again convert those USDT into Solana. So that's the beauty of stable coins. The stable coins are crypto coins, but which you don't move at all. They are very stable. Each stable coin is usually attached. There is also a euro coin. Like this coin is attached to the euro currency, which is followed in the Europe, right? So hopefully, I don't know, we may have something like a rupee coin also sometime soon. Who knows? And we may do it. Someone will definitely do it. So that's the beauty of stable coins. So on our platform right now, we also have USDT. You can buy USDT on weTrade as well. That's nothing but similar to buying US dollars. They will not go up and down. But if you think that Indian rupee is weak, by the way, US dollar to Indian rupee is crossed 80. If you had crossed USDT like a few months ago, right now, even that would have appreciated in terms of INR, because US dollar has gained strength with respect to Indian rupee. Right. So stable coins have ensured that the crypto participation has increased a lot. Because participation has increased a lot more companies have born out of the crypto world, lot more exchanges have born out of the crypto world. Right now, the size of crypto market is more than $1 trillion, and stable coins have played a very, very important role in that. Having said that, the recent, I would say, you guys may be aware, right? Particularly in the last 1 year, not even 1 year, I would say since after the Russia-Ukraine war, global markets are highly impacted, and crypto markets are a bit more impacted than global markets because crypto markets are essentially more volatile. So the Ukraine war is one event which has impacted the global markets along with crypto markets, and there is another event in the world of crypto which has also impacted the crypto markets like crazy. So we'll come to that next. So which is this. So there is this another stable coin called as Terra UST. I would urge you to read up about it because explaining it here is not that easy. So what these guys have done is, hey, this USDT and USDT, yeah, the concept is good, but for me to start, let's say, printing, $1 billion worth of stable coins, I also have to maintain that much amount of US dollar in my bank account, so which is very expensive. So I will instead create algorithmic stablecoin. So this company Terra, right? So instead of maintaining the necessary reserves in their bank account to ensure the pegging to US dollars, they've created an algorithmic stablecoin. It works in a different fashion. So they've created these two coins like Luna and then UST. So Luna is the native coin of the network, and UST is the stable coin. And they've ensured that these two are constantly balancing each other, right? The moment Luna goes up, then they mint the moment USD goes up, then they mint more Luna. The moment USD goes down, then they burn more Luna. So there is like an algorithmic stability which is ensured between these two coins, which was working quite well, and USD was actually quite famous. And in like the bleak hours of this happened towards the end of April or something. So because of some unforeseen events, what has happened is this particular Luna coin, it collapsed. It collapsed like crazy, and the stability zone was broken, because of which it lost most of its value. And there are a lot of crypto companies which are holding on to this Luna coin. If you heard about this company called Wald, you've heard?
Yes, sir.
Wald.
And yes, sir. Actually, and recently they got some kind of restriction or something, right?
Correct. So Vault was actually a very good crypto company, which was based out of India, but they later moved to Singapore. So they were also offering a lot of these asset management services and value generation services. But one mistake they've done is they were holding a lot of their portfolio in this UST coin. So and the UST coin, literally in a couple of weeks, it went from like 100 rupees to 100 rupees like that. It fell down so bad, and they lost most of their wealth, because of which they were not able to honor their customer withdrawals and deposits. So because of this UST collapse, which happened in the month of April, May, a lot of crypto companies got impacted because unknowingly, instead of having their money in USDT, they had it in this, and they were badly impacted. A lot of their money was lost in this collapse, and this created another round of negative sentiment in the crypto markets. First, the Ukraine war has led to drop in the prices of Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then this UST collapse has led to another downturn in the drops. So it almost took like 2 months, like end of June, I would say January to June, the market tanked a lot. By the way, this is nothing new for crypto, by the way. Crypto goes through these cycles every 2 to 3 years. 2017 was a year of massive crash. Then 2018, 19, 20, people flocked like crazy because everything was going up. People made money like anything. Then again, end of 2021, the collapse has started, and we are currently calling it the crypto winter. And the last 2 months have been very good for crypto. Again, they are like going up like crazy. People are making a lot of money. So it's always like one bear run followed by another bull run. So it's a bit more cyclical. So these cycles in stock markets may happen like, once in 10 years or once in 7, 8 years. In crypto markets, it's a bit more often, like every 3 years or every 4 years. We don't know. At least last one decade says that every 3 to 4 years we saw a crypto cycle, right? Once the cycle is over, then you again start seeing massive gains. That's pretty much the content I had. By the way, these are some of the sample NFTs that you can get on weTrade. I just put up the images like that. These are, by the way, minted NFTs. Like, we kind of algorithmically generated these NFTs. They're very cool. Any questions, guys? Anything, like, even if you want to ask me anything outside of crypto, anything
Yes, sir.
related to,
I have two questions.
sure.
Sir, as you mentioned, and you are showing also, from weTrade we can take out some NFT creations,
Hmm.
and we can list on different marketplaces.
Yes.
So, sir, will we get some guidance in that? Because previously I have created one creation by myself, and I was trying to list on OpenSeas,
Hmm.
but I was getting some difficulties. I set up MetaMask wallet and all, but I
Hmm.
didn't like got completed all the process. So, if we are doing via weTrade, so will we get some guidance or something?
I think we can help you there. David, maybe you can route Praveen to Krishna or something to help.
Yeah, we can do that. Praveen, for WeTrade, it's very simple. By the way, have you transferred it from WeTrade to OpenSea?
Not actually, sir, because I was not aware. Like I can get from weTrade, but initially I was trying by myself. Like,
Got it. Okay, so we can help you if you're interested.
okay, sir, thank you. And
Hey, by
this,
the way, now you can also gift NFTs to other people. So on the rewards page, if you go right, so you can start gifting NFTs from there. So on WhatsApp, so when they open, they'll also get an NFT.
okay, so via a weTrade app only.
Yeah. Go to the rewards page, and there is one tab called as gift NFTs. From there, you can simply send NFTs to whosoever you want on WhatsApp. So they will, when they open the WeTrade app, they'll also get NFTs. Like that.
Okay, sir, thank you for this information. And second, my question is like some of research I was doing, so some of platforms are offering that from with the help of them we can launch our own cryptocurrency.
Correct.
So what are the like technical things behind this, and like what will be the compliances so managing all these things?
That's a bit more complex than what they say. So there are a few networks which are saying that will make the launch of a new coin really easy. But nevertheless, it is still right. See, first of all, for you to launch a coin, there needs to be an underlying blockchain project behind it. What is the blockchain project and what is the use case that your project is solving? It can be related to anything, related to transactions, it could be storage, like whatever. There are like some 200 use cases
Right, sir.
which are being solved. And then you publish a white paper on that. And then you basically do enough marketing to say that this particular blockchain is. See, it's very similar to when a company goes for a public listing,
Right, sir.
right? So they do a lot of marketing saying that, hey, you know what, we are getting listed. This is the value that we provide. These are the products and services that we got. This is the money that we are making. Now, please give us money and take our shares.
Right, sir.
Similar to that, you need to first create a blockchain project and then essentially solve a problem. A blockchain project is intended to solve a problem, right? Pick any problem which can be solved by, basis blockchain technology, and then you go ahead and basically publish it. And then you invite people. Then there is something called as a process called as initial coin offering and whatnot. So there you basically say that, hey, this is the then the airdrop. Do the coin drop also.
Right, sir.
It's not that simple as some platforms claim. Otherwise, everyone will have a coin by now, I guess.
Right, sir. Uh, and I will take this privilege, sir. I will ask one more question, and
Sure, please.
so, sir, what you are seeing the scope of blockchain in agriculture?
See, agriculture as an industry is the slowest to react to any technology. Let me tell you. Everyone will want to solve problems in agriculture. Everyone, because it's a noble industry, right?
Right.
And a lot of people go and try hard to solve problems in agriculture through technology, and they fail miserably. 99.999% people who actually have good intentions to contribute to agriculture and solving problems there, they go and do it. Theoretically, it all sounds very nice. But the practical penetration of technology in agriculture is so bad that most people give up.
Right,
So
sir.
if someone tells me that I want to do an agri-tech startup, the first suggestion I will tell them is don't do it. I know agriculture is a noble thing. It's an industry which requires revival. Unfortunately, the practical situation is very bad.
Right, sir.
Theoretically, you can say that I'll build a blockchain, I'll solve their supply chain issues, I'll ensure that the transfer of goods is proper. Theoretically, you can make a very brilliant paper out of it. But when you go try and do things practically right, anything in agriculture takes lots and lots and lots of time. It's very, 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 very slow. And there are too many stakeholders involved. There are too many stakeholders involved. Like the landowners are different, the guy is maintaining is different, and then supply chain is so complex, and then there is government wherever it possible comes, and then there are land acquisition laws which are very unfriendly. So Indian agriculture is like, I don't know, something major should happen for technology penetration should increase. And I actually, it's a good thing. Like, I'm being a little discouraging about it right now, but I may be wrong because some agri tech startups are actually doing well. Very few, very, very few agri tech startups are doing well. Most of them, they give up, after trying many times. Like taking technology to solve agricultural problems is a very noble cause, but if you try and do it as an entrepreneurial venture, it is very likely that you will be disappointed.
Right, sir.
In what is very common thing is, for example, government used to distribute seeds, or they used to distribute plants, saplings, and all those things. Okay. So what normally people will do is either they will sell that, or they, they will prepare it for food. It's also
Right,
very
sir.
common,
Right.
right? So see, theoretically, this blockchain can give transparency over the, how are those things managed by the farmers, like how it can actually track how are those utilized and all those things. Theoretically, like Sudhir said, like practically we don't know how it will be implemented, but if you put it in a paper, it can solve it very nicely. uh, Applicability is there, but the thing is like how we are going to implement it, who will do it, is the big question.
That's all from my side, sir.
ठीक है Praveen, Charu, thanks a lot for being till the end. If you have any questions, let's utilize our group. You can ask us anything. See, the objective is not to, you know, uh, not to buy crypto, nothing like that. We don't want people to fall in those type of marketing and then buy crypto losing money. That's not the objective. See, the primary objective of this blockchain crypto education, first of all, is we know that this is going to be a growing
Revolution.
technology, so
Right.
people
Yes, sir.
good. Second thing is there are a lot of people who are investing in crypto. So it is very important for people to understand what is the value generation behind crypto, what is driving this cost, what is driving the up and downs of this cost, right? People should know how to do this type of assessment.
Right, sir.
You cannot completely educate all these things in one webinar session. Uh, some of them are like very transactional questions, which might only take 1 minute for people to get that clarified, right? So those type of things also we can get it clarified over in the group. If you guys have any questions, you can ask. We will respond through text and try to have those understanding. But the objective is to protect people from getting into the wrong side of crypto and then getting in trouble, and then help them make a very smart decision on the entire crypto world, because we believe that this will continue to grow more and more.
Right, sir.
Mhm. All right, then thank you very much, everyone, for your time, and have a great weekend.